Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. So it all depends on where you are right now listening to this. Wherever you are, welcome to my channel. I do have another channel, but I'm starting over with this one as I want to use it basically for just true stories, crime stories. It could even be funny stories, embarrassing stories, whatever you choose. This is my very first post with some stories mixed together, so without any editing. So please bear with me and excuse me for that. In the meantime, if there's any stories that you do want to hear, feel free to message me, send me a comment. And if you have any stories of your own, they have to be true. That's my only thing. I want true stories and only true stories. So feel free to comment and send me anything. I can give you an email where you can email me your true stories. Also, please subscribe. As you can see, I'm new. I don't have many subscribers, and that will help a lot more for me to put out and spend more time putting out what you want to hear. In the meantime, enjoy these. Again, remember, I didn't do any editing at all, so just take it as it comes. And thank you, and I hope to hear from all of you. Have a great day. Bye. James Sanders had a pretty sweet diamond ring. When he put it up for sale on Craigslist, he was hoping to bring it in at least $1,000, money that might have helped out the family. After he received a reply to the ad, he invited the prospective buyer, a young married couple, over to his house in Edgewood, Washington, so they could take a look at the ring. But all was not as it seemed. When the couple arrived that night, Sanders was home with his wife and two sons, aged 10 and 14. He let the couple into the house. As soon as they were inside, however, the husband pulled out a handgun and ordered everyone to get onto the floor. While they tied up the Sanders family, two more armed men forced their way into the home. One of the new arrivals got rough and smacked Sanders' 14-year-old son with the barrel of his pistol. That was more than James Sanders could take. Wrenching himself free of his restraints, he dove at the man who'd hit his son, only to be shot 3 times. He died in his wife's arms, in front of his terrified children. 3 days later, a traffic stop in California led to the arrest of 3 of the suspects: Kiyoshi Higashi, Joshua Reese, and Amanda Knight. A few days later, the 4th suspect, Clauben Bernard, turned himself in the face of a massive statewide manhunt. The 4 of them received sentences of 79 to 123 years in prison. In 1988, she was convicted for robbing a pharmacy in Colorado. 9 years later, she stormed into a drug recovery program with 2 handguns and demanded prescription pills. When she was told there weren't any, she took the counselor hostage and spent the next hour taking pot shots at the police. She was finally wounded and apprehended when she hid behind a janitor's cart and used it as a rolling barricade. The judge found her not guilty by reason of insanity, and she spent the next 6 years in a mental hospital. In short, Diane Warwick was not a woman you wanted taking care of you. But nobody seemed to be too interested in Warwick's past when she answered a Craigslist ad to serve as a caregiver for 70-year-old Mary Jane in Pleasant Hill, California. Mary Jane was confined to a wheelchair, and Warwick's duties included helping her eat and getting her in and out of bed. It was all pretty routine. And then for no apparent reason, Warwick stabbed Mary Jane to death. Police arrested Warwick at a nearby trailer park, and she received 31 years to life in prison. At her trial, Warwick claimed that she'd hallucinated, that she was attacking her father when she killed Mary Jane. It's a saying as old as time itself. Never hire a hooker on Craigslist, and never ever pay in advance. The internet is filled with stories of women and men posing as prostitutes who then rob their clients blind and make off with the money. But those stories are nothing compared to the tragedy of 26-year-old Jennifer. Jennifer Papin was a prostitute working in Long Island who advertised her services on Craigslist. On March 24, 2010, she was contacted by 23-year-old Chad Johnson. Papin thought nothing of it, just another night and another job. For $80, she agreed to meet Johnson in his car and take care of their arrangement. But things didn't go as planned. Sometime during the evening, Johnson asked for his money back. Papin refused, at which point Johnson got violent. He got his hands around her neck, and before she could scream for help, he was pressing her windpipe shut. He choked her to death and then drove to a wooded area near the Long Island Expressway and buried her body in a shallow grave. The subsequent investigation into her disappearance turned up Johnson as the person who'd last seen her alive. A background check revealed that Johnson was something of a serial choker who had brushes with the law in the past for assault, and he ended up leading police to the grave that he dug for Papin. Catherine Ann Olson had recently graduated from Minnesota's Olaf College and was working part-time as a nanny until her career in theater kicked off. She was 24. Michael John Anderson liked to play paintball and wondered what it felt like to kill a person. He was 19. Posing as a mother named Amy, Anderson posted a Craigslist ad in 2007 looking for a person to babysit a child. The following day, Olson jumped at the opportunity, and they made arrangements for her to show up at the house at around 10 a.m. to start the job. According to some comments made by Olson to her roommate, she had a weird feeling about the job, but she decided to go through with it anyway. There was no way she could have seen what was coming. After arriving at the house, a rundown, split level in Savage, Minnesota, Olson was greeted by Anderson, who led her up to his bedroom on the second floor. Nobody's sure exactly what happened next, but at some point, Olson tried to run. Anderson shot her in the back with a .30-57 Magnum, dragged her body down the stairs, and stuffed her in the trunk of his car. He abandoned the car a few blocks away. Then, in an attempt to destroy the evidence, Anderson crushed Olson's cell phone and wrapped it up in a bloody towel before dropping it into a public trash can. He apparently didn't realize that the towel had his name written on it in black marker. In 2009, Anderson was sentenced to life in prison without parole.